Oh, look, you can share screen now.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, Mabrika, Taigwei. Good day, everybody. Welcome. Sorry, I was just fascinated that now you can share screen on YouTube Live. Thank you all for tuning in. Dakakasika Mahura, I'm Chief Joseph Riverwind.
Dr. Laurelyn Riverwind.
And we're just wanting to give you some just really quick updates on what's been happening, what FireKeepers International has been doing. There's been a lot going on, as a nonprofit organization, we help with teaching resiliency and preparedness. And back in 2018, our scope of our focus completely changed to preparing people for hard times. And then October 7th happened. And that really changed a lot of our focus. I know some of you are thinking, well, this has been a big focus change where we talk a lot about Israel. Now we have a very deep and loving connection with Israel and the people of Israel, not just as First Nations ambassadors since 2018 to the state of Israel, but also we have friends and people that we considered family there. And when October 7th happened, we had to be a voice. We had to be a voice.
So that's what we've been doing. We've been advocating for the Jewish people who are needing outside voices to come in and bolster and support and encourage and speak up.
Mm-hmm. And speak out.
And so that's part of what we've been doing. We have been partnering with the IAC, the Israeli American Council. We've gone to their national summit, been meeting with people there.
October 7th. Also, the Israeli embassy, a official proclamation of support from Laurelyn's tribe was presented at the embassy, and it was really incredible. Where and I can't pronounce her name, but it's a Druze name. The Druze are also indigenous to Judea, going all the way back to Jethro,
the Minister of Public Diplomacy.
Yes, and she was one of the guest speakers at the launch of She Leads Native America. So that was taking place. A lot of these things you can just look it up on Google. Look up She Leads Native America. But we also were part of the October 7th memorials at the National Mall.
So before that, though, we went to Atlanta and met with a group of Jewish people.
Jewish natives.
The Atlanta community there.
Yeah, they're Jewish natives. Chickasaw and Sephardic, Choctaw and Sephardic, PD, and it was really incredible. Just being it was just a small, just intimate setting in a grandmother's home, a clan mother's home, and it was incredible. And just hearing their hearts of how they're processing the things like being told that they're colonists or settlers of their own indigenous homeland, and just sharing some of the struggles that they're going through. And we just went to say, hey, we're here with you. There are First Nations people that stand with Israel. There are First Nations people who see the indigenous people of Judea returning home. We don't stand with the colonizers and the colonialists.
Everybody has a place.
Everybody has a place, yes.
Everybody finds their place.
Yes, we're all indigenous to somewhere. And the Jewish people are indigenous to Judea. And that's their homeland. Thousands of years before Chichen Itza was built, before Rome was built, before Jerusalem belonged to the Jews. So we've been advocating. We do a lot of advocacy, and we did that at October 7th at the National Mall. We also attended
So on October 7th, there was a memorial for the 1-year anniversary. And we were honored to be able to speak on the same platform as Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance and Zach Sage Fox.
If you haven't seen him, you need to check his content out.
Holly Kingsbury danced while we sang. We sang an honor song for those who have fallen, the warriors who've fallen, the civilians, the innocent babies, the hostages, the elders.
And then Holly did a memorial dance, with the whole thing for We Will Dance Again. She's from the Hopi Pueblo tribe, and and she did an honoring dance for them. And you know, just a simple "we're here with you, we stand with you." Um, you know, this is a battle that goes beyond anything that started October 7th. It goes even farther back than that. It's deeply rooted, but this is a time when people need to speak up. This is a time when people need to speak out. And as Indigenous people, there's a lack of understanding of what's happening in the Middle East and the indigeneity of the people of Israel. It,
And so it's not just a civil rights action issue.
mhm.
It has turned violent. And so it is incumbent upon us as people who have made covenant both with Creator and with his people, the Jewish people, that we act upon that covenant. So I just want to put a call to action out there. Some of you watching may be secular, um, maybe you haven't chosen a side,
Maybe you're church people, maybe you're just spiritual.
maybe it doesn't really matter to you because it's far away. To you, I would say I hope you keep watching because education is part of our mandate and what we do.
Mhm.
But for those who have made a choice, have already made a decision, have made words of promises and declarations and covenant and support, this is your call to action. This is your time when action is needed, whether it be picking up the phone and calling your congresspeople, whether it be calling the local Jewish community and asking how you can help, whether it be attending a synagogue just to be there and say, hi, I'm not Jewish, but I wanted just to tell you guys that we stand with you. And if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
And you know, we've heard some pretty incredible things, things that I never imagined. I would hear one lady, just embrace Laurel, and she said, "This is the best day I've had since October 7th."
When
You
we
know,
would speak,
and we were just there having coffee with a group of Jewish women.
that's
Um,
happened so many times, I didn't know which ones you're talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
because
Well, I
we've
always I
heard
always go
it.
back to that one.
We've heard it at coffee shops with meetings of key influential leaders. We've heard it at synagogues that we're just going to support. We've heard it at IAC conferences where thousands of Jewish people are coming from across the nation. We've heard it from the embassy,
Mhm, that's right,
Washington, D.C., and this is all within the last 6 weeks and more.
and more.
You know, everything from the personal sit down lunches or coffees that we're having to speaking at the National Mall. We're hearing it over and over how much they need it. They need you to stand up and say, it's not okay to pick on the Jewish people. We're it's not just the Jewish people that are what percentage of the American population?
Oh my gosh,
2%
like 2%.
of the
Yeah.
American population. You're not just picking on the Jewish people as 2% of the population when you're doing anti-Semitic things. You're also punching the friend that they have, which is the giant Christian or the church, who says, "Hey, we're not going to stand for you doing this." Or it's also the civil rights advocate with maybe pink hair who says, you know what, I did a study on this. I did
Hmm.
Middle Eastern history reports, and I decided I know the true story. I know the real narrative, and
Or
I'm not going to allow. I'm not. This is not going to happen on our
or
watch. The
maybe
next
or
Holocaust.
maybe it's like I wish I could remember her name. We met her at the National Mall, but she was kicked out of her country for standing up for Israel, and she's banned. She's barred from ever coming back home. I mean, she's paid a heavy price for standing for what's right and for what's true. Um, so continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. That's something that all people should do anyway. And we're just going to continue to speak up and speak out because there's a deficit of education and understanding of the history of the Middle East. Yes, as native people, we've had it bad for over 500 years, but the Jewish tribes have had it worse for thousands of years, and their history is a very deeply rooted indigenous history. So we just want to affirm that and let the people know, look, there are native people that stand with you. You're not colonizers. You're not
And
settlers.
non-native.
Yeah, and non-natives.
And this is an important strategic time for you to also stand with Israel in another way, and that's through your vote,
Hmm.
because elections are coming up. And historically, um, many of my years, I made my political decisions based on one really important thing. Um, Here lately, over the past several years of my life, I've realized it doesn't need to be just on this pet issue or key issue or very important thing. It also needs to be on where the candidate stands when it comes to Israel. Because if they're not in Israel's corner, if they're not giving Israel against Israel, you're siding with the same people who say, we're coming for America next.
Did you say you side with Israel?
If you side against
Against
Israel,
Israel,
you're
yes.
siding with the same people who are saying America is next.
Yep.
And so a vote pro Israel is a patriotic American vote.
And one vote can make a difference. One vote is the reason why we're not speaking German right now. It had nothing to do with World War II, but it's one reason why we're not speaking German. One vote is why the eagle is our national symbol and not the turkey. One
One
vote.
vote is why my people were removed on the Trail of Tears instead of not. So one vote makes a big difference in the
Mhm.
world. It could be your vote. So get
Oh,
out and vote. We already voted. We
yes.
did early.
And we've here in the past several weeks. During those several weeks, you all know the hurricane hit here in our home region, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, causing absolute massive devastation. It's been classified as a geophysical event. Over 1,000 landslides, new rivers, new islands. I can't remember all the statistics, uh, but there's still, we have actively, although our hearts, we were contracted to be in other places. Thankfully, we had very capable leaders here on the ground doing disaster relief and emergency relief work.
Who are part of
We were part of
FireKeepers
FireKeepers.
International's volunteer team, and we want to
Hmm.
say thank you. We love you.
Yes.
And so we were texting throughout our very busy travel schedule over the last month and a half. We were texting, calling, coordinating,
Thank you. Thank you for the donations.
moving
Yes,
funds.
moving funds from your donations into emergency relief. One of those rounds of funds enabled, was it 5,000 pounds of supplies to be helicoptered into a cutoff mountain community. So thank you so much for that. As soon as we got back from DC, it was boots on the ground. We've been working, disaster relief, distributing goods, even as far as 2.5 hours away in North Carolina. There's still a lot of work to be done. We're in long-term recovery phase now. Uh, there's still trauma. I got a message this morning needing volunteers to go do search for cadavers, which I've
I don't
experienced
like
in.
calling them
I know I don't like
cadavers.
that word either. It's so
For human
unpersonal.
remains.
Yeah, yeah.
So the victims of the
The
flood,
victims of the flood,
and
and so they're
a lot
needing
of
help
people
with that.
missing.
Yes, there's still a lot of people missing. I listened to one guy this morning. They lived in a little small, just little tiny valley, and he was pointing to where his mom and dad's house was, his grandma's, his great aunts and uncles, and his cousins. It was a whole little family, and they lost 11. He lost 11 of his family members right there where he'd grown up, and he goes, "It's nothing. It doesn't even look the same anymore," and they don't know where their bodies are. And so there's still a lot of trauma here. So thank you for your donations to Firekeepers. Thank you for donations that help with our operating costs and donations that have gone towards hurricane relief. We are still very active in that. And also even refining some of the processes for intakes and outtakes at the distribution centers that we've been working at. So other than that, I can't think of. It's just again, it's a quick update. Sign up for a Firekeepers newsletter. We'll put up frequent updates there. There are some things coming for next year. We're wanting to get our land ready for the springtime in hopes of being able to do some springtime resiliency training. If you would like resiliency training, preparedness training, what?
I'm just laughing because it's like, he's like, if we have 500 volunteers, 450 for the hurricane relief, 50 to help with us do stuff that it was on our to-do list for you, so we can get things ready to teach classes and stuff like that. But you know what? You've heard the expression, the laborers are few.
Yep.
It's true.
So we're gonna need some help. If you want to volunteer, we have a volunteer form. Email us. Go to www.firekeepersinternational.org and express your interest in volunteering for our Firekeepers work weekend.
And your love and donations.
Yes.
We'd be grateful. There is a lot of need, and we're trying to be careful to do a lot of like, for example, hurricane relief funds. There have been a lot of donations to other organizations, and we've gotten some as well. But our organization is suffering because things that would have typically gone maybe to our organization is going to the flood victims. And so we need help on both fronts.
Mm-hmm.
If you might consider splitting to some degree, even if it's a little bit, 20% to Firekeepers and the rest to the hurricane victims.
Because there are expenses with being able to do that. Yeah, like the car expenses, fuel expenses, and delivering goods.
We prefer to keep the choice in your hands about how you would divide that.
Which is why we created 2 envelopes on the page, so you can choose where you want to give to.
So we're grateful to you for helping us do the good that we're doing and standing as a Zionist organization to help those in need, and
to stand in support for the people of Israel. Yeah.
Thank you to the Jewish people who are helping the people of the Appalachians right now in disaster relief. We're grateful to you.
So thank you all for coming. That's our quick update for now. There's a whole lot of stuff going on and a whole lot of work yet to be done out here. So we're going to get back to it. So thank you all. Thank you. Visit our website, check out our Facebook page, and definitely keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we go through the phase of recovery here with this disaster. So many blessings to you all. Seneco, cacona.